This is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Church Governance Solutions. Today I want to just deal with elements that makes church board effective. The elements that makes a church committee to be effective. And we have dealt in the past with how to appoint church boards and so on, because it's very important that church boards are seeing themselves as very important in the church. And many times churches function and fall based on the effectiveness of the church board itself, and also how weak the church board is, the church will be weak as well. And that's the reason why we will speak about church boards several times. And because as Church Governance Solutions, we know this is a nucleus of leading the church. This becomes a foundation. The congregation looks up to the church board or the leadership of the church. And therefore, it's very important that we speak and teach about church boards as well. Now, the elements that makes church board to be effective, number one, is if they are appointed based on ability. Because how you appointed the church board is very important. Because most of the church boards are appointed because Kimwanama Lome is my uncle's child and so on. And sometimes it's appointed because it's my brother, it's my sister, the same siblings from the same family. And sometimes we appoint our own sons and daughters to become church board members, not based on ability. And when you appoint people not based on ability, you are actually destroying the ministry from the beginning. So therefore, ability should be the one, or skills that somebody's having. Because if you're going to put people on the position that they don't know what to do, you are actually killing the church itself. And it's going to be very difficult for you to reverse actually the failures that may come along with actually poor leadership that comes from people that are not rightly appointed. So we're looking at skills, we're looking at the knowledge that a person knows, and we also emphasize when we speak about skills, we speak about leadership skills, because you're not appointing somebody just because they're earning well at work. You're not appointing people just because they are a counselor in political setup in the community. No, you must appoint people because they are spiritual sound, number one. They are matured spiritually, and also not only mature spiritually, but they've got skills to handle the church. Because handling the church is not like handling politics. Handling the church is not like handling society outside. It's not like handling a football club. It's different. So therefore, it's very important that when we speak about handling a church, there are specific set of skills that you look at, and that goes along with the spiritual maturity as well. And we emphasize that it's very important that the church board must be appointed based on ability. Now, the second thing is consist of those leadership of the board, church board must be consisting of proactive and innovative people. It must be people that are proactive, people that are not the yes men or the yes ladies that are just going to be told what to do and they do. There must be somebody who are creative enough. But creativity in a church setup needs somebody who understands what a church is all about. It needs somebody who has been in a church for a while. It needs somebody who understands the systems of a church. It needs somebody who understands the doctrine of the church itself. It needs somebody who knows the vision of the church. It needs somebody who understands the visionary. So these are aspects that are very, very important. Now, to be proactive, you need all those aspects, because otherwise you cannot be proactive about anything if you don't know anything. And that's very important. Now, when we talk about proactivity, we talk about innovation as well, which is actually being able to innovate new ways of doing things. Systems that might have not been used anywhere else, but that might be appropriate for this particular church. Because we need to run the church in a way that it will be moving with situations as well. Right now, we're speaking about the times whereby technology has actually stepped into the church, whereby we cannot fold our arms and run a church like it's in the late 80s or late 70s and so on, whereby there was no technology at all. At the moment, the leadership must be innovative enough and say, we are moving into technology. Buy cameras, make sure that you innovate, and make sure that you are actually on the technology space as well. Because the church should be on the technology space to touch the world even much more bigger and wider. You cannot actually run a church traditionally like you're still in the late 80s, as I said, or in the early 90s, the 50s, and so on. And this is very, very important, because the dynamism of a church is dependent on environment as well. Now, we are not saying change the word of God. The word of God remains the same, but the dynamics about the church changes. And we must move with times. But you need a team of leadership that is aware of these changes, that are aligning themselves with these changes, and make sure that the church is relevant at any given time. Otherwise, most of the churches becomes irrelevant. They become redundant as well. Why? Because they don't move with times. Remember that we are living in times, as I said, of technology. And if you remain behind, you are going to be irrelevant very soon. Secondly, or thirdly rather, you need people or the board that consists of independent thinkers and people that are having ability to work without direct supervision. People that are open-minded, people that are knowing the church systems, as I've said, and they can be able to run with church systems even in the absence of the visionary. This is very important because when you have got a board that understands how things should be run, you don't need to micromanage them as a leader or as a visionary. So therefore, it's very important that the appointment of people into boards of churches should be people that are innovative enough, people that are great thinkers, and of course, independent thinkers as well. People that will think on what else can we do here. People that will put up systems and say, but this we have tried, it doesn't seem to be working, what else? And people that will say, but in this situation, how do we do? And many times, we don't have people like this in churches, and because of just the wrong appointments that we have in our churches. So independent thinkers are very important. Ability to work without direct supervision. Because if you are going to work under the supervision of the pastor all the time, and you want the pastor to be telling you what to do and what not to do, we are going to waste time. Because why do we need you there as a board member if you're not able to think independently, if you're not able to actually give an input in how to run the church? So this is very key, that we have people in the boards of churches who are independent thinkers and people that are actually that can work hard without supervision. The other thing is you need boards that conduct frequent meetings, at least monthly, minimum monthly. And this is very important because also, if you are running a church and you don't have meetings, you are running a church, you don't have discussions about progress, about the church. Where are the inputs or the innovations that we spoke about in point number 2 going to be applied, and how are they going to be? So therefore, when we're running a church that's not holding meetings of board members, we don't discuss things, we don't talk, and so on, we cannot be on the same page, and we cannot actually have progress in anything that we do, because it will actually be thrown back to the pastor to make decisions on their own of something that they think will be worth to apply in the church, while we actually shutting down the minds of other people or ideas of other people that could suggest better ideas as well. So meetings are very important, and as Church Governance Solutions, we recommend at least minimum monthly, but it could be more than that, but it's very important that meetings are being held. And it's actually even better now that you can hold meetings virtually. You don't need to be in the same space, but virtually we have got technology that has facilitated that. So meetings should be much more easier now than in the past, where we needed to drive and be in one place. Virtually possible, and therefore let us use those facilities of technology that will assist us to lead churches through virtual platforms as well. Now, the other thing that's very important is honesty is very important from church leadership. Honesty and transparency, if I may say, is very important from the board members. It's very important from people that are appointed as church leaders. Honesty and transparency. You need to be known, your lifestyle, how you live, your heart, what's your vision, what's your mind about the church, and so on. You need to be known, because that's very important. And if there's no transparency, there will not be trust. And trust is broken generally because of lack of transparency, where we don't know when one is what one is thinking. And this is very, very important. And when we speak about transparency, we speak about transparency amongst pastors with their board members, or the board members with their pastors, and the board members amongst each other as well. So that transparency, what it does, it promotes trust amongst each other. It's the same like leaders that are running a company. If you're running a company and you are leaders, different departments or executive team and so on, the only way you're going to forge trust is when you are able to be transparent with one to another. And that is going to help this particular company to run properly because you are transparent with each other. The church, the same as well. We need to be transparent, and we need to be able to forge trust amongst each other because of what we call transparency. The other thing that just want to mention right now is the ability to keep confidential matters confidential. Now, both members, they know or they are privy to people's issues because people come to them to be counseled. People come to them to tell them their issues, marital issues, personal issues, work-related issues, family issues, and so on. They come to this leadership and they share their own personal stuff to the people. Now, therefore, there are confidential matters that don't need to be shared. But if you're a church board member, you cannot go around and telling other people about somebody and somebody's issues that are sensitive as well. Because as a result, you're breaking individuals by going behind their back and go and share their confidential matters with other people. Now, the next thing, they hear it from someone else while you are the only one that they've spoken to. Now, a mature church leader should not actually speak the issues of other people to other people. We should actually keep confidential matters to remain confidential as well. And this is very, very key that we emphasize. So as a church board member, confidentiality is very key. And I want to emphasize that please make sure that we keep confidentiality very confidential as well. Be approachable to both leadership and to the church members as well. Be approachable to both the church leadership, which is your own colleagues in the church leadership, and also be approachable as well to the congregation as well. So let people feel free to come to you. Let people feel free to speak to you. Let people come and feel free to actually share their concerns with you. And if you are a church board member and you are not actually transparent enough and you are not approachable by the members themselves, it is going to be problematic because they are not able to share their concerns with anyone. And our people in the church will die because the leadership is not transparent enough and is not approachable at all. I want to end up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum and Church Governance Solutions. So please, we are restoring godly order in the house of the orderly God. And I believe that you are learning out of these lessons. We'll deal with another topic tomorrow, but before we check out, we want to remind you of our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, our Facebook page, Church Governance Solutions. Make sure that you like and follow us on those pages. Click notification buttons as well. Our YouTube channel under Young Men Empowerment Forum and Micornus Phokane, as well as our TikTok account are waiting for you. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok account as well under Micornus Phokane, and the good Lord will bless you. And allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.